Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us for Politically Incorrect Knitters. I am Deplorable Knitter. This is the lovely Ann Pinkova. And sorry we're running late. Ann and I haven't talked this week, and we just needed a couple of minutes to, like, bond. That's why we're so good at what we do. We have to spend time together.
We're like this. I'm the tall one.
True story. So, anyway, before we get going, we are sponsored by Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. You can use the code PIKPEEP for 20% off of your order of $50 or more at chickenladyfiberarts.com. Look at the beautiful yarn Anna's holding.
It is lovely. This is Eastern Bluebird, which is this month's giveaway. So comment below once the video is finished for a chance to enter. And yeah.
You guys are going to see this on Rumble, but we're having a little issue streaming to Rumble. It still applies to Rumble. I'm going to upload it when the live is done, so you'll still get it. It's just going to be later. But yeah, everybody comment, either platform. We're happy to have you. PIKPEEP, 20% off of your order of $50 or more. Mm-hmm. So.
Yep, and check out Lynn's stuff because she has new stuff all the time.
Yeah, and I got to notice that I'm getting yarn from her that I didn't order, and I think that the reason was because I'm awesome. So, hey, Lynn, thanks. I'm glad you think that about me because I don't always feel that way.
It's always a good thing.
But yeah, so what have you been up to?
Well, I have in Knitting World, besides working on the blanket, I'm so close to finishing it. And I know so close to finishing it means probably 4 or 5 more squares, but still.
Out of 20 or 30 or however many you're making, that's close to the end. I mean, come on.
Right? I'm so excited. But otherwise, I finished another one of these Isom hat deals.
Oh, cool. That's the smaller thing, right?
Yeah, this is with the
graph is a little bit shorter. It's nice.
Yeah. And also, I wasn't so sure about the decrease, but it blocked out really nice. But it's a really flat top anyways. I mean, a little bit of that is that I did block it on a coffee can. But, yeah.
So. No, it's nice. And I like the contrast. Like you said, I think you said this was going to be the most contrasty one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Though I do still love the...
Oh, that one's nice too.
Yeah, but together there.
Wow, look at you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, I think I've not hit my limit quite, but it's like, okay, I think I've done with this pattern what needs to be done with this pattern. I don't need to make a 4th.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm impressed that you make any. Like Neil said, he only makes one at a time, so whatever. Make it once and it's fine. It's close enough.
Well, you got it.
Excuse me.
Anyways, and speaking of repeating knitting, I finished the hat.
Yeah, did you like it better now that you switched up your yarns?
I did. I went with a different purple, and I don't see you can see it a little bit. So I did the stripe is 2 gray is 2 of one color and 2 of another, but I only had so much of this light brown cashmere stuff. Ooh. Here, look at that big ugly seam. I'm gonna have to block that too. I don't know if that'll help the seam any, but it'll make me feel better. So I was doing one of purple and one of this sort of brown color. But at the end I just did purple. But I mean you can see it, but I don't
can see a little bit that you've pointed it out, but probably to the untrained eye.
Yeah, I don't. Well, you hope with these things that it's not a mistake. It's a design feature that. But anyways, I like it. I think it's a good one.
These hats look great on you.
Oh, thanks.
If I put this on, I would look ridiculous. I don't have the right shape head or something for it. I don't know.
Something. A big.
You're cute.
Hat. But yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, so yeah, I finished 2 hats. I went to Joann's again. We're getting to the real vulture stage now. But but I got like a few things because our friend Amy says that she's out of baby blankets.
Oh yeah. Oh, they
So
probably still have some acrylic yarn, huh? For
well, yeah, they had it was very, very reduced
Mhm.
selection, and the yarn was at 50% off, which was
See,
cool.
I went to Joann's on Monday, I think,
Mhm.
and it was still only 30% off. And they still had quite a bit of yarn, but I think my store is a lot bigger than yours from what we've talked about.
Yeah,
So,
probably.
um, but
There's
it
more.
wasn't worth buying because they used to do sales for more than 30% off. Like, why am I going to spend that on clearance yarn? I don't know.
Yeah, and even well, I talked about the Patton's Croy yarn. It's like, well, they still that went they still had some of that, which shocks me. I don't know what the normal yarn buying demographic must be, but they were leaving that alone. And um like that was all at 50% off and they had a lot of it. And it was the thing where that's still $4 for a
Yeah.
little skein. So I did buy some because I'm like, I'm not, the temptation is to clear out the rack. And I'm like, that's a lot if I clear out the rack. That's like a
Yeah.
lot.
Well, and like Croy is nice, but it tends to be like, at least at my store, there was never much of a variety. They were all kind of like the same colors. It's not like you could get like 10 different styles of it. So that also makes a difference.
Yeah.
But
But oh, also I got the last decent knitting book in the place where they actually had the Knitting California book.
oh,
So I'm
cool.
excited. It was like in a rack next to all the magazines. All the other books were gone. I'm like,
Mhm.
aces.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited.
That's cool. Um,
Adam says that I could don the hat as an undercover lefty bohemian, which is difficult because I am a totally acknowledged outward righty bohemian. So,
yeah, I think you should just wear it as you and be done with it because it
yeah.
looks good on you.
Well, thanks.
If you need to go undercover, I don't know what's happening. So
I don't know where I am then.
maybe we should do man on the street.
Be excited.
Anne could be the man on the street. Should be towering over all the people. Oh wait,
Man,
no, not in South Dakota.
no, oh,
You're
wait, I
sure,
was going to
right?
say with Joanne's, what I was saying about before that it was like walking among elves. It was totally the thing again. One of the again, most of the ladies there, were older, gray-haired,
Mm-hmm.
but several of them were, willowy, and there was one gal who was also buying acrylic that she was my age or a little older, and again, it must have been half a head taller than I was, and looking at yarn kind of dolefully, but
Yeah,
the elves were out. The native South Dakotans, who are incredibly tall, show
yeah.
up when a Joanne's closes.
Apparently, um, Emily says I got an email from Marley Bird that Hirschner's is going to have the Big Twist yarn. That's nice. I really like Big Twist when I'm teaching my classes because it's acrylic and it's affordable, but it's like a step up from like Red Heart and that kind of thing. And I like Karen, but that tends to split. And so when I'm teaching people, it's
Yeah.
not great. So the Big Twist kind of fills that hole. And I was kind of, I mean, it's all acrylic, but I was kind of bummed about that not necessarily being available. So that's fun.
Mhm.
Texas Sheep Lady says you're not that tall.
Aw, thanks.
Is she tall? You met her, right?
I did, yeah. But
Yeah.
she was sitting down when I met her, so.
Oh, well, I don't know. I think you're tall. It just makes me laugh because this is how I know you and we're on the same page. And so when we stand next to each other, because I'm not short. And so I'm always surprised that you're tall. Like, you know what I mean? It just makes me laugh. Adam says he has no issue with tall girls. So that's good. Tall dames, excuse me.
Oh, wow.
I guess that means he likes us. I don't know. Sorry, excuse me. We have had the creeping crud. And guess what? Kid number 2 has it again.
Oh.
Which means that we may all get, my husband's like yelling at them, like, don't get on your mother. Don't stay away from your sibling. Like, don't give it to anyone else. We've got to stop this.
Don't wipe your snot around, okay?
Yeah. No, usually when we get sick, and I didn't do it this time, is that it's somebody's task every day to like go wipe the doorknobs and the handles and things with like Clorox wipes and the remotes. Yeah. And I think I probably need to make somebody do that today. I need to ask somebody to help me out and do that today. I won't make them. They will volunteer. Actually, that's one of the jobs that they fight over. I'll be like, okay, I need somebody to help me with the dishwasher and somebody needs to do doorknobs. And everybody's like, I want to do doorknobs. And I'm like, well, only one of you can. So, but, yeah. So I don't have any knitting. I don't have any. Co-op ended. And I went to get a picture from the lady because we go to a co-op, there's not like art shows and different things for what the kids are doing. So we've started doing like a end of the session showcase. And so we had our showcase yesterday, and I had a table full of all the crafts that my students knit and crocheted. And I didn't think to take a picture of it because I didn't. And I wanted to show you guys, but my knitters, some of them made cowls. We were working on scarves where they did like every week they worked on a new stitch. And you know, it was a lot of like learning how to read your work and learning how to fix mistakes and following the pattern. And they did really well. Their assignment was to knit 4 inches each week. And I had one student that actually did that every week. And then I had others that did it, but not fully. And so 2 of them ended up with cowls. They decided yesterday they were going to bind off, and we sewed them up. So they have little cowls that they've made. And I had 2 students that wanted to finish their scarves. So we had those on display. And it was really nice. And then my crochet class, they had single crochet washcloths, double crochet washcloths, scrunchies, coasters, and little peeps. Like they weren't amigurumi, they were like the kawaii cuddlers, you know, where you make the 2 flat pieces and you do them together.
Okay.
And so they were bunnies, and they looked like the Peep bunnies, and they were so cute. And so my table was like so fun and so colorful, and it's I don't know, I like it. Like we have dance classes at the co-op, and there's a taekwondo class, and there's hand chimes. So like all of those classes performed, and then the art classes, the Lego class that my kids were in, they made these like scribbler things, so other kids were able to see what they made and play with the scribblers, and like it was just a lot of fun. But so yeah, I was finishing up co-op this week and being sick. I was on Easter, I had no voice at all. And on Monday I was out. I did not get out of my bed until my kids had an activity that I had to go take them to. But like, you know, my husband's like, what are we eating for dinner? I'm like, I don't know, food. Like what should like I'll boil some pasta and put a jar sauce on it. Like that's the effort you're getting today. Like,
well, this whole last week at work, I've been fuzzy, and it's like I'm walking around stoned, which, you know, I'm not even on any good cold medicine. So what am I thinking? I'm doing it wrong.
Emily says, load up on elderberry extract. Yeah. We are just we're out. But yeah, so co-op was super fun this session. We had a great time. My students did great. And so that's the kind of stuff I did this week. I didn't do a whole lot of my own crafting. Unfortunately, I had to clean 3 houses, and between being sick and cleaning, that's what my energy had to go to this week and finishing the year.
Yeah.
So, but it was fun. I'm glad co-op's over, but it's always a good time, and I'm always happy when it comes back.
Yeah.
So,
and it'll be summer soon. So yeah, excited.
I love summer. I love the warm. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say it's 60 out and raining, but it's still humid today, which is always like my favorite. It's horrible. Who likes that weather? Well, you know, my husband and I have been talking about moving, and somebody said, oh, you should move to this area of Georgia. And I'm like, I would die. I would literally melt into a puddle if I had to live in that humidity. So, but anyway.
No, it is, okay, it must be spring proper. Some of the trees are blooming, everything's nice, but it's this thing every year where I get so happy for spring, but it's wow, everything's beautiful now. I'm like, do I got a touch of that seasonal depression? What's going on? Mm-hmm. You know, like I'm always so happy to see spring, and it always surprises me how happy I am to see spring.
Yeah. No, I know I have the seasonal thing, and it doesn't help that I live in the Finger Lakes because the Finger Lakes are actually cloudier than like a lot of the places that you think of that are cloudy because we get so much lake effect down here that it's not often clear days. We get like 30 like actually clear days. So it doesn't help anything. But anyway, if we all melt into puddles, we reform in deep fall. Well, I don't know. See, my husband and I are talking about moving. We don't know where. We're hoping to kind of stay local, even though New York kind of sucks. Like, there's this desire to get out of New York, but then, like, I have this family that's like this big, and so it's like, do we want to leave them?
Yeah.
But I don't know. We like the seasons. That's the big thing. New York gets all of the seasons like the appropriate amount of time. We don't get 6 months of winter like Anne does. We get like, 2 months of spring, summer, a couple months of fall, winter. Like it's yeah. So I don't know. Be like the rest of America and come to Florida. Yeah. My father-in-law owns a house in Florida. At some point we may end up there depending on what happens, but it's not right now. Move the family. There's too much family to move.
A lot of family, yeah.
A lot of family. And they wouldn't all come, so it'd be sad. We'll see. But anyway, that's my story about that. The other reason why I didn't knit this week is because we were, shopping around, seeing what's out there. So, just busy.
Yeah.
Sorry. That was a diatribe on my life. Sorry, friends.
That's all good.
Texas Sheep Lady says it's hot in Florida. Yes, but if you have a pool, it makes life more bearable.
Florida is a magical place.
I love Florida. I don't really want to live there, though. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I haven't been, anytime I've been to Florida, I've been in like a, high population touristy area.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know that I really know Florida very well, so.
Yeah.
But still, it's been delightful every time I've been there. And again, the change in seasons, when I was there early this year, it was, wow, at home it's miserable and cold, but here there's gentle sunsets and palm trees.
And we were swimming.
Yeah.
Like, right?
I know.
That's why we always go to Florida about that time of year, because it's crappy here and it breaks it up. And by the time we get home, yeah, we still have winter, but it's like the end is in sight. Like it gives you that break. Right. But yeah, we went to Florida once in September, which was a mistake. Like it truly was a horrifying mistake. Which is why I don't know if I could live there, but Indiana has seasons, is a red state, and the cost of living is lower. Yeah. Before we started, I was telling Anne that we found a lot of houses we'd like, but man, the property taxes here are stupid. You need a second job just to pay property taxes, which is ridiculous. So I don't know. I haven't seen Iris in the comments. I think that she may be having her baby.
Oh,
so
congratulations.
Hey, if you see it, I hope everything's well with you. So anyway, that's my train of thought. Morning. Good morning. Hi.
Morning all. Hail chat.
Just going to word vomit at you this morning. It was sweltering here in Trinidad yesterday. It's bloody freezing. I think that Adam and I have some of the same weather because it wasn't hot yesterday, but it was hot. It was like 80 on Thursday. So
yeah, I mean you're on a pretty similar spot of the continent.
I don't know where he is in Canada, but yeah.
Yeah.
If he's near the border, I don't know. Ontario. Anne's been there once. New York is close to Ontario. Yeah. That's what I was saying. So, anywho, what else we got, Anne?
Well, I don't know if we want to move to the news. Always the news.
There's always something to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Sorry,
I have a terrible sense of humor because it's like, what happened this week? Well, the Pope died. Sorry, that's a bad opening punchline. My condolences to our Catholic viewers, of course.
I don't know. From the Catholics I know, they weren't thrilled with that Pope, but I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But time for a new pope is true.
Hmm.
Yeah, I saw a quote going around from him that was like, Jesus loved everybody without refugees and this and that. And if you aren't humanitarian, you're craphead. And I'm like, I think that you're confused, sir. Thank you. Black Pope, Black Pope, Black. I don't know why we're saying Black Pope. Is that
I
an
think
option?
it's Cardinal Sarah is a guy a lot of people are supporting, and he's pretty on the conservative side of things. From
Cool.
as far as you can, divide papal candidates as liberal or conservative or whatever.
Yep.
Anyways, I don't know. On one hand, it's like, well, he's dead, and a lot of people cared about him. And I'm like, well, the funeral's over. Can I say he's a commie now? Total commie.
He was.
But,
it's okay. We know that.
yeah.
He was a Jesuit. I guess that's a different thing. I don't know enough about I mean, my dad's side of the family is Catholic, but I know enough when to sit and stand, but I don't know enough about the actual politics to know stuff.
Well, as non-Catholics, we'll kind of let that.
Yeah, I don't know what the difference is, so yeah. That's why they call him Black Pope. Oh, okay, because he was a Jesuit. Okay, thank you.
I'm not quite sure about that. Anyways.
Oh, all religions lead to God statement tells me all I need to know about him. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I was kind of getting at. Like,
yeah,
he was a little bit goofy. Anywho, not our business. We're not Catholic.
Yes. Part of the story. Anyways, do you want China or do you want trans stuff?
Surprise me.
I don't know. Well, okay, to start with trans stuff. So the newest campaign in England, which Tilda Swinton and Pedro Pascal, they're wearing shirts that say "Protect the Dolls," and because
the
dolls, apparently, I'm like, I think their balls will be fine. What are you saying?
Oh, like balls? I thought you said dolls.
It says dolls on the shirt, but okay.
I'm with you.
It's easy to parody.
Yes. Okay.
But anyways, protect the dolls. I'm like, okay, so like not only are we forced to consider anyone who wants to identify as a woman, but we have to give them little simping patronizing terms. And yeah, and it's going to be like a code word, like, yeah. Anyways, also, Pedro Pascal has called J.K. Rowling a heinous loser, which means that, thank goodness he won't be in the new Harry Potter series.
Mm-hmm.
So,
good question. Yeah. I saw something, and I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if you've seen it. Mm-hmm. That J.K. Rowling was going against HBO for their casting.
I haven't heard.
You haven't heard that? I saw a couple of memes about it, which makes me unsure if it was true or not. Because people meme anything, so
that's true. I hope so.
I do too, because everybody was talking about if Snape's. Sorry, I'm interrupting your thing.
Go ahead.
But if Snape's black, then the whole bullying thing that happens with James and his friends changes, but also it changes with like the whole relationship with Lily and him bullying Harry, and like the whole thing is just
and him just being cruel to Neville the whole time, and Harry being suspicious of Snape the whole time, and all of these issues. I mean, you have bigotry plot lines in Harry Potter, but immediately you're switching it to a racial plot, but you're also switching it to a racial plot on an American view of race, which is weird because it's British. That the Brits are it's a different thing. It's like the people are saying with James Potter, the one spell where you're lifted up by your ankle. that there was a
Mhm.
scene with that. It's like, well, that would be kind of a lynching thing. It's like that an American would see that and think, wow, that's a lynching thing. They don't, that
Right.
wasn't a thing in England.
Yeah. Um, but I don't understand why all of these people who are like, I'm sorry, if you are making something based on a book, you should be required in your contract to read the source material.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason that that book got opted to be made into something because people loved the book. So if you are like, I'm a director, I know everything I should be doing, and you don't read the freaking source material, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And you should be fired. And it should
Mhm.
be part of the contract. So anyway.
Well, it's you're starting out by saying I'm more clever than the story and I can improve it without reading it.
Right.
And
And I'm not a fan of that.
no, like you're not more clever than the story. When a story really takes off, that is truly, pun intended, a magical thing.
Right.
Like there are so many stories in this world where people go, "Oh, well, that's nice." Um, but for something to sort of grab the imagination of people like Harry Potter has, and then for you to say like, "Yeah, but I can do better though." It's crazy.
And it's such a thing too. It's not like my whole generation grew up on it. You know what I mean? Like you can't just take something that was a cultural phenomenon and be like, well, I'm just going to change everything about it. It's not how this goes.
Mhm. Yeah, and they also not just there was a rule with the original series that all the actors had to be British.
Mhm.
So they also hired an American for Dumbledore, which is
Yeah. They hired John Lithgow, which he's a good actor, but also the thing about him is that he is 79.
yeah.
I know Dumbledore is old, but they were saying that this like streaming services, they don't come out every year. They usually come out every year and a half to 2 years, which means that this dude would be like upwards of like 95 when this thing is done. And is he even going to make it? Like it
Yeah.
was very sad when we lost the first Dumbledore after what? The first movie, the second movie?
The second
First
movie,
movie.
Richard Harris was only for 2.
Yeah. And so it's like, yeah, get somebody that's appropriate for it, but also he's not British. And also he's wicked old. I'm not saying that 80-year-old actors shouldn't have jobs, but not a series that is going to span 15 years. That's kind of ridiculous.
Yep.
Oh, Caitlin's saying they're going to also cast a female Aslan in the Chronicles of Narnia, which is something else I'm going to boycott. So there you go.
Yeah.
Because there's some things that, no. It's so, I know I've talked about it a lot, but I have a lot of classes with my co-op where I'm able to like have discussions with them because, you know, in knitting or I facilitate a craft lab where the kids bring their own activities and then we just talk and work on our projects and stuff. And we were talking about Roald Dahl again and the meaning of words because one of my students said that they had just finished reading Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So I was able to bring up the, you know, like the author called Augustus Gloop fat. What do you think of that? And it's just such an interesting conversation and these kids get it and I don't understand why adults don't. But it's the Chronicles of Narnia. They've been around forever. Like, why would you change something like that now? There's a reason everybody loves them.
And it's very much a I know there's this proverb that you know the end of your life is more important than your beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the day of your death is more important than the day of your birth. And it makes me think of these big series that, you know, it's like, okay, you love Harry Potter, Narnia, you know, Star Wars, all these big franchise things, Marvel movies, whatever your genre is. But these people that it's very insidious that they take it and they crash the ending of it.
Mm-hmm.
They take every single part of what you like and they try to destroy it because they have control of it at the end of the series life. So you can always be like, oh, well, I had a lot of fun back in the day. I really enjoyed watching Doctor Who. And now it's over.
Mm-hmm.
They killed it. It's done. They made it sniveling. They made it bad. And yeah, it is very much a power move by people who think they know better.
Yeah. No, it's yeah, I'm not impressed with any of it. And I didn't mean to, because I know we talk a lot about Harry Potter, which I don't know. We have things we're interested in. You have your comics and stuff, and I'm into Harry Potter. I can't help it. And
Harry Potter's great.
Here, this is the answer.
It's true.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is also it's a forceful, demoralizing view. It's everything has to be broken to fit into a very little box of ideology.
Yeah. And you know what kills me about it? If you want representation, if you want people to be certain races or certain, write it. Come up with your own story. Like, that's the other thing. It's this level of mediocrity that we accept now, where instead of like coming up with a new thing, we're just like, oh, we're just going to race swap Snow White. No, Snow White is a freaking fairy tale from back in the, no, thank you.
Germany,
Come on. Like, yeah. It's yeah. Parasites will always consume and destroy beautiful hosts. There you go. That's a good one, Adam.
Oh, and speaking of comics, not to totally distract.
Well,
but,
can I something before you? Devil's Advocate. There are a lot of retellings of fairy tales, Shakespeare, etc. Would you rather watch the same story retold with new actors or a new twist on an old story? I think with fairy tales that there are enough versions of it that you can kind of, it's not straying from the source material so much. Does that make sense? Like, the story of Cinderella is more Disney like prettified it, but there's also versions that do the more that are closer to the original, right? Yeah. Sorry, I could not think of words for a minute. But you know, and that's good. But when it comes to something like Harry Potter, the reason that everybody was advocating for a series of the books, like a actual TV Minnesota series thing, is because the movies left so much out of the books. They weren't asking for a new twist on the story. They were asking for a more complete telling of the story. Mm-hmm. So I think that that's where it's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a difference between, hey, I want to do, is like, is it because, are you doing another version of this source material? Are you doing the play again? Are you doing it because you love it, or are you doing it because you want to fix it, because you hate it? And I think that's the difference between, the underlying symbolism becomes the thing. Okay, I've talked about this before, but the only good of the Cinderella live actions was, or of the Disney live actions, was Cinderella. That they that everything after it, Beauty and the Beast, everything, all of those live action Disney things are terrible. Cinderella wasn't. Why? Because Cinderella was very classic. It was very much like a, British costume drama, in that the characters is very much about family relationships. The costumes are incredible, but it was very much the questions that the film was addressing. You're like, all right, I want to know more about Cinderella. So they set, and what about Prince Charming? He's not really a character. So they set down in the film, Cinderella is a good person, and she's a good person, and she's hardworking. And the thing about her working around the house wasn't that it's terrible to work, but that she was forced to work alone and treated poorly, when before there was an entire staff of servants that she was helping and she was friendly with. That you have is like, and she's educated and she can justly judge between situations. And you have that she's a thinking woman, that she's considerate of everybody. And this is set down. And then you have your prince, and your prince has a really great relationship with his father. He is kind. He is humble. He is learning, how to run the country. He, again, also considerate of other people and other people's opinions. He can take counsel and yet do his own thing. And we also, throughout the movie, had these little phrases, these very, old fashioned, women. We women must help one another, in social situations. Punctuality is the politeness of princes. You had these, so the movie is beautiful, but it's also moral, it's teaching, and also the good established family relationships of these characters are put in there. I Okay, this may be just speculation, but I think Disney was a little ashamed of this movie when it came out. Like, it didn't have the full marketing campaign,
Mhm.
toys everywhere that the other ones did. Beauty and the Beast did. Beauty and
Mhm.
the Beast was full deconstruction, full, the characters didn't make any sense. People were, super gay when they added stuff like, oh, you want to know more stuff. Oh, it must be about how the enchantress was right the whole time. And there's more magic that breaks the story. And,
Yeah.
Emma Watson was dreadful, but not that they gave her a great part, but she was terrible. And the dresses weren't as fine, and all of this. And that was, barely within each other. And I mean, Kenneth Branagh has the sort of Shakespeare backing to really get that.
Mhm.
Anyway, sorry, not to rant on, but the difference in adaptations was the thing.
Right. And somebody in the comments said, Harry Potter isn't 500 years old. I think there's also that. Like, I loved the Romeo and Juliet that came out when I was in high school with Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes.
Mhm.
I mean, they still stuck pretty much to the play, but the backgrounds and what they were doing was different. And I think that's, and you might hate that one. I understand, but
I haven't seen that
I
one.
was into Leonardo DiCaprio at the time, so I was like 14. Um,
Well, I first saw Hamlet. Okay, I was what, 15, 16, and I'd never really gotten into Shakespeare at that point.
mhm.
And the first time that I saw Hamlet was David Tennant, actually, as Hamlet. It was on PBS, and I'm like, well, I like David Tennant because I was watching a lot of Doctor Who at the time. And it was funny because I was very used to him rattling off science technobabble, and all of a sudden he was rattling off Shakespearean English, and my brain was like, "Oh, you understand now." I'm like, "Oh, wait, I really like this. This is good." But I mean, that adaptation wasn't great. It was. I mean, you can do a more modern adaptation and do it credibly, but again, it's do you like it or not? Where they that adaptation was kind of like doing the whole, it's gonna be, saucy and rude and not a lot of, again, the props weren't great, but I mean the acting was good and got me into Shakespeare, so that's a bonus.
Yeah, but like, and adaptations I think are fine too. Like, 10 Things I Hate About You came out when I was in high school. I really like that movie. It's based on The Taming of the Shrew, but it's based on it. It's not portraying itself as an adaptation of it necessarily. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's inspired by, which is different.
Right. And I think too, because I don't know, I talked about this a bit with my brother. Excuse me, about talking about Doctor Who in particular, because, again, we really liked Doctor Who. But how people are like, oh, well, Doctor Who has gone woke now.
Mhm.
I'm like, no, when I started watching Doctor Who was already woke, but
Mhm.
it's a level of, it's not totally based and totally woke.
Mhm.
It's, well, you always expect there to be a mix, that people have different opinions thrown in, but that, it's like, oh, well, back in the day when, Doctor Who was still healthy and jumping around, it was like, well, Doctor Who was at stage 2 cancer. And
Mhm.
it's like, well, of course, everything seems happy and okay, and now we're at stage 4 and it's the end.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. It's not like a, oh, well, everything was totally fine. It's like, no, I don't know. When I watch the show, I recognize when it was woke,
Mm-hmm.
but then I still watch the show because there was enough other good stuff going on that I could be like, "Ah, that was lame. But also, I like these characters and this is a
Right.
fun plot. So you could, discern
Mhm.
while you're watching. And now it's like, now there's nothing but lame. There is
Yeah,
nothing but,
exactly.
anything else.
That's the difference. So,
But yeah, and you can have sorry, but it's like, yeah, you can have new adaptations and be like, oh, I didn't like all those elements, but we're having fun here.
yeah,
We're still going.
Tara and I are the same age because
Yeah.
I watched Clueless a bajillion times when I was in high school. Like, yeah. So I think that there's room for adaptations and there's room for different things, but I also think
I
that
watched I watched Gwyneth Paltrow as Emma a billion times in high school.
I think I remember that one. I'd have to watch it again though.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. It's just yes, adaptations can be stupid, but I think that especially with stuff that's as old as like Shakespeare and fairy tales, that there's room for it because a lot of people already know the stories, and there's a difference between being like influenced by and saying I'm going to take this Harry Potter or whatever it is, and I'm just going to change everything to fit the woke narrative now. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, it's like
Anyway,
they're just gonna, wear your show as a skin suit for whatever it is they want to do.
yeah. But you were going to talk about comics before I went off on my
Oh
long
no, I was just gonna say sorry.
Mhm.
So Rippaverse doing fantastic. I want to say that Caro's story came out and it is great.
Mhm.
And it's in Ripazine 3. The book is only $7, plus
Oh,
whatever
cool.
shipping, but you can combine shipping. And yeah, and it is fantastic. And she is okay, it is a 16-page comic book.
Okay.
And she introduces like a full cast of characters. The way that she introduces the drama of the story, who the villains are. She doesn't just go, bam, there's the villains, even
Mhm.
though she has so little time to do it. All of the characters are distinct. Their outfits are distinct. Their costumes really inform the character and also give you a lot of questions. Action is good. The way the frames are fantastic. Do check it out. And I really
Very
hope that she
cool.
gets a series because
That's
I mean,
awesome.
separately, I'm really enjoying what she has started. But also, I mean, good for her if she does.
Yeah, right? That's awesome. And sorry, I'm just going to this is the last thing. Oh, they're putting the woke into a Harry Potter skin suit. That's the problem. Thank you, Tara. That's exactly what I was trying to get at for 10 minutes. That's the issue. It's not the issue of the adaptation. It's not the issue of changing things. It's that they're trying to make Harry Potter fit their woke narrative. So anyway, let's move on.
Oh, totally. Sorry.
Still lingering. I apologize.
So, talking about Harry Potter for a while, we could get into China. So, China is, they have backed down a bit on the tariffs with semiconductors because there has been escalating tariffs back and forth.
Right.
And the thing is that America can hold that way more than China can, even with, Timu and everything else. Part of the reason, okay, things are cheap from China because they're produced cheap in China and slave labor and the rest of it. But also, China is cattle prodding its own economy to produce way more than they have any capacity to buy at home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you're a little slave in the factory making your raccoon light, you cannot afford this. You
Right.
cannot afford this at all. You're living in a hovel, okay? And all of these cities and all of China, advertising and even paying influencers to be like, oh yeah, China's so advanced, it's the most advanced place. It is not.
I
Okay,
know.
it is
I've seen so many like videos of like, look at how great this is, and look at our factories, and look at how wonderful we are. And I'm like, propaganda
like,
much? Like,
yeah, literal propaganda. And okay, and they're also the people who make skyscrapers out of just like punch through concrete that'll just crumble in your hands. and it's, it's all a facade. It's all, oh well, we're really big and powerful and you have to take us seriously. Now China ought to be taken seriously because it is making all of the moves against everybody else. I'm not saying that it's not a threat, and also the human rights violations and the rest of it. They are definitely making a play as fast as they can for the rest of the world, but they are having a lot of issues. They're having a lot of issues with these tariffs because they need people to buy their crap to support their economy. They also, very quietly, like Japan and other places, are really doubting China's population numbers.
Oh,
There's
really?
way more people died during the COVID era than before. There are generals dying, that, have gone missing a couple months ago, and they're like, yeah, they're gone now. And
Hmm.
it's really unclear if it's, Xi who is getting rid of them, or if other people, because there's so much chaos in the Chinese government, what's going on there. And also, in addition to this, and whether it helps or hurts China is another question entirely. But India and Pakistan are now in proper conflict mode. That India has said that all Pakistani nationals, it was get out in 24 hours, and that's already passed.
Oh, wow.
They are cutting off water to Pakistan. They are having some real issues. And those are also, very big, uh, production markets.
Hmm.
Though at the same time, America has sort of cozied up to India more. That there's been talks of iPhones being produced in India and other things like that.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's a mess, but also it's an interesting mess is a little weird to say, but there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of, inter-country political things that, it's I don't know, it's kind of difficult as an American to see sometimes because we are so disconnected to it.
Hmm. Yeah. Tara was saying about China, just take a look at their fake real estate market. They have built buildings that are empty.
Mhm.
Yeah. And she's also saying, the art of war says if you're weak, look strong, and if you're strong, look weak. And they're trying really hard to look strong because they aren't as it's not as real as they say it is. So
Yeah, and yeah, I don't. Okay, COVID was its own mess, but it's like whatever happened internally was, I don't know that the whole story has come out yet.
yeah.
And it'll be fascinating when it does.
Yep. Yep. Um I didn't hear anything about the whole India thing though, so that's interesting.
Oh yeah.
Um
Yeah, so hopefully it doesn't,
mhm.
go to all out war, but there's been a lot of tensions between India and Pakistan for a while.
Mhm.
So, I mean, them fighting it out, finally getting to that point is not super surprising, but it's, interesting.
Mhm.
Um, Also, sorry, in the stack of stuff, um, that one of the, Epstein, what?
Oh, I thought you were going to the judge, but yeah, do the Epstein
Oh,
thing.
well, we can go to the judge.
No, I was just smirking because that's where I thought you were going. The Epstein thing is not a smirk worthy thing. Apologies.
No, that one of the, Virginia, Ginfrey, one of the Epstein victims, who was very vocal
Mhm.
about what had happened there, um, was reported to have committed suicide yesterday, a week after she was hit by a bus, and was recovering from being hit by a bus. And also, it should be noted that, she was one of those people who said, "Yeah, I'm not suicidal. I'm not."
Mhm. And she one of the people that she accused was also Prince Andrew. So it's
Yeah. And Bill Clinton and
oh,
the rest of it all.
of course. I didn't hear the Clinton one. So there you go.
Yeah. I don't know.
Everybody that she wasn't feeling suicidal. Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Though, I mean, you can also say that's like, well, clearly she had been through some things, but again, had been hit by a bus. That
sounds like a pretty bad day, and I could understand being upset about it. But also, if you're healing and recovering,
yeah,
I don't know, man. Got killer eat, someone said. Yeah. Arkansas. Oh, man. Okay.
right.
I'm not laughing about that at all. It's just the puns for making me laugh because it's really shitty. And I mean, there's a reason that these people get away with stuff because they know their accusers and stuff know that if they say it, they'll probably get something will happen. Mm-hmm. So it's better to stay quiet. Like you see the signs, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
So
anyways, the judge then, because you want to jump on that one, that judge Hannah Dugan was arrested for obstructing justice, specifically for directing officers away from illegal aliens that she was keeping. So
yeah, like they were in the courthouse, right? And she said they were somewhere else so that the guy got away.
Yeah.
And like, as a judge, isn't your job to be neutral?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, everybody has political leanings, but when you're working as a judge, you're supposed to look at the facts and look at the things. And if this person is here illegally and ICE is there to get them, what was
here illegally, which is a crime.
Yeah. She snuck him out the back door. Judge needs to be fired and taken straight to jail. Yeah, like, but I'm glad that she got arrested because so many people have been doing these things and it's been able to get away with it that we need to start. I mean, when you make an example of someone, it makes other people think twice. And that's okay because they should be following the rules.
Yeah. And also too, it's this, I don't know, it's a very liberal view that it's like, oh, well, I'm not breaking the law. I'm doing the right thing. Yeah, Therese says nobody is above the law. And by the law, I mean what I want to do. So it's very like, oh, well, I'm doing it because I am a part of the fun and quirky rebellion. And I do the right thing by letting criminals go free because they are of the protected class. And,
my mind is boggled by the people who are like, well, their only crime is coming here illegally. Well, this person was in a courthouse because they had done other crimes, but also coming here illegally is a crime, whether or not you like it. If we went to another country illegally, snuck across their border, we would get in trouble. We would get deported. We would get whatever. It's not bad to protect ourselves. These people are crazy.
Right. And also it's an idea of judgeship where you're like, oh, well, but I don't like the law, so I won't follow it. And it's like, that's not how the law works. The law is supposed to be just impartial. This is the standard, and you hold to the standard no matter what your feelings are.
Right. I don't know, man. I hope that more of it happens. I also heard that George Santos, who was a congressperson from New York, was arrested by the Trump Department of Justice or I don't remember the exact details, but he's the guy who like embezzled money from his campaign and got taken down and stuff. And so I think it's good that they went after him because also they can't be like, oh, you're going against Democrats. No, we're going against people who are breaking the law.
Yeah.
We don't care. Oh, I got a question for you. Did you see that Trump released Trump 2028 hats?
I did, yeah.
So I said to my husband, I don't like it. He goes, I think that it's just a tactic because he's a lame duck president and they don't want it to seem like that.
Mhm.
They want to kind of keep the momentum going. And I'm like, I still don't want them to. What do you think about the people who are trying to get him a third term?
I think it's ridiculous.
Okay.
I think it's a funny joke.
Mhm.
I mean, I love a joke, you know that.
Yes, we all know you love a joke. And we'll do
Yeah.
most anything for one.
Exactly. Committed to one thing and it's the bit. But we but no, for a serious thing, I'm like, no. And also yeah, they're trolling. But part of it's like you want to be able, if you just have one guy who's the guy and that is it forever, that's not a good thing actually. You want there to be other people who can carry what you are doing forward.
Yes.
And really hoping for that in advance. Congress and the Senate right now suck.
Mhm.
They are so bad, and there's not really, any strong much of anything from them. They talk a little butch and they really do nothing. They should be putting executive orders into more codified law. They're
Mhm.
not. They're just who even knows what.
Yeah. Kendra says that Ireland's sending Rosie back. I didn't hear that. Is that true?
I've heard something about that, but not in depth.
And then she also said this. I would be more behind this. I don't think Trump would go to vice president. I don't think he would like to be second fiddle, but be funny.
It'd be funny.
Don Jr. as the Trump. No, don't like him.
I'm not really against Don Jr., but he's not like, he's on the team, but he's not, I don't think, a real leader in conservatism or.
Yeah, no, I get it. Tara says Barron. We gotta wait a little bit longer for him though. He's a little bit young.
Yeah, Barron doesn't even talk. I mean, like he kind of his own people he talks, but
yeah. Hey, you never know. Growing up the way he has and seeing what they've done to his dad, he might want to get into it.
So. Yeah, he's got that good Slovak seriousness in him.
Yeah, he does.
Tara says that's the best part.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to know what he says.
Yeah, no. Keep it all quiet. It's good. Yeah, so do we have more? Are we good? What do we think?
We are nearing an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there was anything else you wanted to talk about, but those highlights of the week.
Yeah. Oh, you know what we haven't talked about, and I've been dying to say something about it. We have a couple minutes we can do. What do you think about the dire wolves?
They're so fake.
You think they're fake?
No, because they're not using original gene material. Mm-hmm. They are using genes from other wolves.
Yeah.
Wolves.
Gray wolves, I think.
Yeah, to kind of to have similar genes to what dire wolves look like.
Okay. So every time I hear this story, and once again, a lot of my growing up, I was born in the 80s. A lot of what I remember is from the 90s, right? Like that's when I was like a person. Freaking Jurassic Park, anybody?
Yeah.
What happened? We all saw Jurassic Park. We all saw the dinosaurs eat the people. Why are we like, hey, let's make extinct animals? Have we not learned anything?
Yeah, and also it's you know what I would like? I would like something really big with pointy teeth. We should really breed animals that are really big and have really pointy teeth and are known for their pack killing instincts.
Yeah. And then they're like, we're going to bring back the woolly mammoth. And I'm like, but where are we going to put them? Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, they were big, right? I feel like they were really big. Where are we going to put those?
course, no woolly mammoths are around, so I don't quite know what they're like temperamentally as opposed to elephants. I'm assuming they're kind of on the same level,
Hmm.
but
Here, Velociraptors on Border Patrol. I mean,
perfect.
hey, if we could make it work, sure. We need to listen to Jeff Goldblum. Yeah, see, everybody who's my age is like, yeah, I can't wait for the dire wolves to escape their nature preserve and find the wild wolves and coyotes. Yeah.
Well, the thing is that there are wolves around, and like there's technically, I think it was in Maine, I was hearing somebody talk about where they're like there are no wolves in Maine, and I'm like, why are you saying it like that? That's a weird thing to say. And because in some of the forests in Maine, if there were officially declared wolves there, then it would have to be a nature preserve, and they're forests, they're cutting down the trees there, like these are
Mhm.
working forests that they have, so that would totally mess things up because they would have to then be protected. I'm like, I think the wolves are doing just fine. Also, they're freaking wolves.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Wolves in your forest.
Emily, I'm with you. Just because we can doesn't mean we should.
Yeah.
They were about the size of Asian elephants. Okay, so they weren't ginormous, but still.
Yeah.
So this is my thing. Things that went extinct before we were messing with them, like the dire wolf that went extinct like 10,000 years ago or whatever, it went extinct. Leave it alone. How about the stuff that we hunted to extinction? Like maybe bring those back if you know how to. But like not just this nonsense. Like if you can breed things that are on the edge and are on the endangered species list, then go for it, I guess, right? Like, but why are we bringing things back that, like, I keep saying the word like, I apologize. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So anyway, Caitlin wants us to talk about wool news, but I don't know about it. Something about a couple of new breeds that have been something. So Caitlin, we don't know enough about it to talk about it this week. We can try to find out for next week though.
It's very cool. All those sheep breeds, but yeah.
That was not part of our prep for this week. Sorry, friends. Bison are making a comeback, and then don't the Mammoth site in Hot Springs, South Dakota have a direwolf skeleton?
Probably.
Ant's like, I don't know. I don't live there.
Long ways away. Like Hot Springs. Hot Springs has a great yarn store.
Oh, it does?
Which actually has bison yarn to tie that all together.
Oh, cool. You know, today is local yarn store day.
Hey.
And so if you have a local yarn store, I encourage you to go get it. Before we got on, I was looking at my local yarn store because every time they have they have like exclusive colorways. So I support more bison. They are delicious, and maybe the environmental nut jobs won't gripe about their farts.
Well, that's the thing too. People are like, there's so many cows. This is so bad with so much methane in there. It's like, what do you think was on all of this land before the people were?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that would be bison, deer,
woolly mammoths.
Woolly mammoths.
I mean, they were probably making a lot of stuff.
Dire wolves got those protein farts. Like, what do you think was going on?
Yeah. So somebody said it a couple of weeks ago. I can't wait to hear what you guys think about it. And every time anybody says direwolf, I think Jurassic Park, and I think that we should learn our lessons from things. So
yeah, you should think through the issues. Issues like having large predator mammals.
Yeah. Mary Ellen's saying that she's having trouble getting our channel to load on a live stream on Rumble. We're not on Rumble today. There's an issue. I will correct it. I will upload this shortly. Mm-hmm. I have to wait for it to fully download, and then I can download it, and it's a thing. But it'll be this afternoon, hopefully. But so if we stop eating cows, there won't be any cows. The people don't understand how this works.
I know, it just reminds me of the Flight of the Conchord bit where they're like, the song about robots in the future and how they killed everything. And it's like, now that we've killed all the elephants, there is no more unethical treatment of elephants.
Right. I mean, that is true. Caitlin says that we should see if we can get someone from Shave Them to Save Them on the podcast. I'm not even familiar with that thing, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot going on. More we could talk about, but it's that time. I have to go see what my family's doing.
Yeah.
We're having guests. My brother and his girlfriend are coming over tomorrow, which means that I have to clean my whole house because the girlfriend's never been here. So therefore, our level of lived in needs to be taken down a notch so that it looks like we're people. Because, it's a small house with a lot of people in it, is what it is.
Yep.
So anyway, we're going to head out, but don't forget to check out Chicken Lady. She's fabulous. You can use the code PIKPEEP for 20% off your order of $50 or more on her website, chickenladyfiberarts.com. She is fabulous and wonderful.
Her yarn is made in America, and she does have her Advent calendar out, the Road Trip USA.
Yes, she does. And
excuse me.
Yeah, you and I are a pair today, aren't we?
I know.
I'm sorry, guys. It's just that it's that spring cold, and it's not letting go. But be friends with Chicken Lady on her. Sign up for her newsletter. I mean, also be friends with her, but sign up for her newsletter because sometimes she runs specials. Sometimes she sends out a thing saying, "Hey, look at my new fancy thing that I'm doing," and everybody wants to be part of that. So do it.
And she just came out with a new episode yesterday, which I haven't seen yet.
Oh, fun! I haven't seen it either. So yeah, PIKPEEP for 20% off of your order of $50 or more. Mm-hmm. Thanks for joining us. We will be up on Rumble later, and we'll see you guys soon. We'll see you on Tuesday for
Knitting Wars
because it's our last one before we go on about a month break. So join us; it'll be fun. All right, bye guys.
Bye.